Again, greetings. Thank you for being here. As we said, this is a meet and greet. We're just providing information. So why are we just providing information? We've had some structural changes, and our language and our nomenclature is so clear now. We evolved, and you'll hear more about this, but we evolved organically as people women particularly, who just loved Georgia State and love student success. But as we've matured, so has our structure, and we want to be able to share that new language and that new structure with you. If you would allow me, I will share my screen. And before I share my screen, the former chairs are on here and future chairs are on here. Ray is a immediate former chair of WPN. Kathy Henson, former chair, and Donna Lee is the chair-elect. And so anything that I don't know, we'll make sure we ask our experts to help us out if we reach. So I'm going to share my screen, and thank you all for coming. It's good to see you too, Kim. I'm going to share my screen. This is a very simple PowerPoint, no frills. We get straight to the topic. And so welcome. And here's our first slide. Again, we're straightforward and we've had our introductions. And Ray, if you could just give us a little tete about the history of WPN, just a little.
Yes, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Felicia. And Kim, it's wonderful to have you with us, and Felicia as well. So WPNs actually started as the Women's Philanthropy Initiative. And it was in 2012, 2013 that Laura Voisinay, who was the wife of President Mark Becker, began to solicit women as donors to the university. And through that process, there were a group of us that she engaged that came together with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for the things that were going on. And we took what started as really kind of an informal donor engagement program and began to create a real organization. In 2012, our focus was on raising money primarily for student success. What excited all of us about the work at Georgia State was the fact that it was such an innovative, the programs were so innovative, graduating a significant and groundbreaking number of first-generation students. And so those of us that were early donors were called the founding femmes. And that group of women committed $25,000 in what we call our 5,000 for 5-year program that has continued to the work of Georgia State. And with that, we again began to work very hard on promoting women as philanthropists in support of Georgia State. Over the last 12 years, we've raised over $1.5 million for Georgia State. And through that process, we have learned a lot. Laura Voisinay, of course, who started the organization, and Dr. Becker are not at Georgia State anymore. So we have worked on how do we evolve the organization. And our commitment all along, and I think the excitement about what started as WPI, and has now become the Women's Philanthropy Network, WPN, has been the opportunity for women to come together, learn about what it means to be a philanthropist, what it means to support Georgia State in community, because through this process, we've made lots of wonderful friends, and we have been able to look to have educational programs that have gone beyond just the Georgia State, dealing with issues that are important to women, and have really created what I think is an important sense of community. So that's how we started. And today, what we're going to talk with you about is really how we have evolved and what do we look like today, and how we can hopefully invite you and engage you to be part of this wonderful group of women in support of Georgia State.
Great, thank you. That was well stated. I mean, that was beautiful. So thank you so much for that. And so we talk about the newness, but Donna and I have laughed about this. But what does it look like? Where are we going? Where have we been? What are we using as a springboard? Where's our data, for heaven's sake? And we have a nice report. Donna, are you in a good place to take this baton?
Yes, I am. I'm just making sure hope everybody can hear me. What you have in front of you on your screen is something called the Women's Philanthropy Network Impact Report, in this case for 2023. And I think I have the opportunity to be the chair of the Philanthropy Committee at this time. And Ray has already done a great job of setting up that really the Philanthropy Committee, focused on our collective giving, has started with scholarship and really women lead programs as sort of the foundation of what has made us, I think, really successful as philanthropists here at Georgia State. So in our beginning years, we really focused on things like Panther retention grants, and we learned that we could do micro grants as small as $300 and have a tremendous impact on students' ability to move forward in their academic career and really get to completion. In many cases, they were lacking just less than $1,000 worth of funds to be able to get to academic success and be able to move into the career world. And that really has been the work that we focused on in our first 10 years, that and creating programs with Women Lead. Those two areas have been sort of our foundations, our pillars. And about 2 years ago, with some insight from one of our donors, Enid Dreluk, Enid helped us to really come to grips with maybe there might be some other ways for us to take our collective giving to a next level. And that level included doing grant making. So we, with the partnership with the development committee of the foundation, went out and asked all the units of the university if they had projects that they were interested in having WPN consider for funding. And I'm happy to say that we're actually now, year one was so successful, and we had such a great opportunity to really spread our wings and do a number of things that we probably in our initial years never dreamed that we'd be doing. We've now gone into year two and done a second year of grant making. So just to give you some examples, we were able to do grants for the School of Public Health, a summer Empower program. We have done teacher prep sessions with the College of Education, with Dean Alberto. We've done transition scholarships for our honors college students who are moving from perimeter campus to the downtown campus, which many people don't realize what a daunting challenge those students are facing. Many of them have never been into the city and know what it's like to be on a campus like Georgia State. We've supported the nursing program. We've also done some additional work in student engagement through what you're going to see in the next probably about 60 days from now, a Women's History Month. And we are a sponsor of that Women's History Month and a lot of the content that you'll see there. We've done some work with the School of Law, sponsoring internships for summer programs for law students. And probably last but not least, I'll just leave you with the College of Education. We've partnered with Dean Alberto and his team on the Child Development Center, offering scholarships to students who have young children and need ways to care for them thoughtfully while they're in fact pursuing their degrees. And that has become sort of what I would call one of our new pillars, one of our new areas that we intend to do further investment in, and looks like a totally promising opportunity for us and really could be another signature investment on the part of WPN. Well, I hope that gives you just a little bit of a taste of the kind of areas that we're pursuing. We still know that scholarships is the #1 need that's always comes up in any strategic plan that a president of this university has put together. And this strategic plan is no different. So we will continue to invest in scholarships, but we think grant making is also another way for us to be able to get out in front of people across the campus and our donors and let them see that there is a lot more to Georgia State, and there are many more opportunities that we think we can be a part of in helping this to be a very successful university. So that gives you a little taste of what collective giving can do. And I hope that those who are on here today, that we'll have a chance in the future for you to ask more questions and be able to participate in this kind of giving.
Donna, thank you. And it's just etched in my mind that beautiful health room. We're calling it's not a it is a lactation room.
It is. They call
For
it the
nursing.
wellness room, right? It's called the wellness room, but it is in essence the euphemism for a lactation room, which was, by the way, I'm glad Felicia brought it up because it was really our first signature outside of WPN endowed scholarships, which obviously carry our name, but it was the first brick and mortar endowed opportunity that we pursued with the library. And those who know me personally know the library is near and dear to my heart. It's where I worked during my college years. And so as Felicia has noted, that was one of our investments through grant making as well. That's really making a difference for parents on campus.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for your example of commitment. It's amazing because you can truly say, what does that look like? We can demonstrate that. Now, the good thing is that, and I hope I say this correctly, we have our own lawyer. And when we don't know what to do and we get in a corner, we have in-house counsel. We don't have her bill yet, and that's part of her commitment. But what a prize we have in Kathy Henson. I mean, just a real jewel. And so one of the things we've done is that we have restructured, well, actually structured, because as I said, we were sort of organic. And we have a wonderful tiered approach. So Kathy, if you could help us with that, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure, Felicia. And the work is all pro bono, so don't worry about that bill. What has engaged most of us in the WPN is our love for and commitment to Georgia State University. Many of us are alumni, and many of us have served on the foundation board and either are currently serving on the foundation board or have served in the past. And at least two of us, Donna Lee and myself, have chaired the foundation board. And when I came on the foundation board almost 20 years ago, I remember my question was, so what is the purpose of the foundation? And the answer was to support the mission of the university. And so the next question was, well, what's the mission of the university? And so WPN, as a committee of the foundation, is a place where we learn about strategic initiatives at the university and figure out ways that we can raise money and deploy those resources in a way that makes maximum impact. We have recently updated our mission statement, and I think it clearly states what we're all about. The Women's Philanthropy Network at Georgia State University is a group of committed donors who are passionate about empowering women and advancing their education, research, and career development. The mission of WPN is to raise money and cultivate a supportive philanthropic environment that fosters collaboration among women donors, students, faculty, and staff. WPN achieves this through sustainable fundraising, the funding of innovative and impactful programs, and meaningful education and engagement with donors. For anybody out there who is looking for a place to learn about and enjoy the learning experience to support the university, I encourage you to join us at WPN and become a part of our work. I think all of us can say, and I have been involved at Georgia State for 20 years in a variety of ways, that WPN has been the most enjoyable experience in my 20 years because of the engagement and the relationships I've made with the other women I've met along the way. So I welcome you to join us and hope you'll take advantage of a place where you will feel at home at Georgia State.
Thank you, Kathy. We do want you to know that we have levels of commitment, straightforward. I told you this agenda was straightforward. And here are your levels. Because we have 3 tiers, well, really 2 tiers, the officers and the advisory, we have connected those. They are aligned to the giving level. So at the 5 for 5 level, which is right here, 5 for 5 is the advocate level. That's where the officer level starts. Make sure I say everything correctly, Kathy. And again, straightforward. Friend under 40, 500 per year for 5 years. Partner, 1,000 per year for 5 years. Ally, 2,000 per year for 5 years. I've talked about advocate, and there's a little asterisk there because that's kind of a change. And then benefactor, 10 for 5 years. And leader, and I'm really, really humbled. I'm proud. I'm overwhelmed that we have so many at the leader level. So many at the leader level, and that's a $100,000 commitment over 5 years. So what? So what? What does this? What do I get out of the deal if I commit this? Of course, a lot of this is intrinsic, and what you're going to get will be a fulfillment of that passion that you have inside of you to support your alma mater, or not. You may not have graduated, you may work at Georgia State, but it satisfies that thing inside of us that says, I am making a difference. We do honor Women's History Month. I want you to put March 26th on your calendar. We'll have an event there. You'll get more about that. Of course, ongoing relevant educational programs that are archived on the website. We are providing students a voice, and we really want to hear from our scholarship recipients because they tell us what this does for them, this financial intervention. We also have PAC invitations, and that's our athletic association. We have one coming up, as a matter of fact, and we have recognition gatherings. So we have all these wonderful opportunities for you to be committed, for you to see the fruit of your labor. And we Want to know, do you have any questions or answers? I'll stop sharing. Are there any questions or answers? All righty. Any closing comments? Because we're going to use this video for those who say they want more information.
Hi, this is Kim. Can you hear me?
Yes,
When does the group meet, and what is sort of your cadence of meetings and regular besides the upcoming events?
we're
Tell me
aligned.
a little bit how you
Yeah.
function.
We are a part of the Board of Trustees, so let's make sure that that is clear. And we are
Yeah.
aligned. They meet quarterly, we meet quarterly. And inside of each quarter, there are the committee reports. We
Mhm.
have been, and we're transitioning to that group, will be the officer group.
Okay.
So everything is pretty much aligned. And so, except for, you know, our calendars didn't work right. We missed being prior to this last quarter. But there's a first quarter report, a robust, as you know, because you've had to sit in those meetings. There's a robust first, second, third, and fourth quarter report that goes to the trustees. And so we report there as a standing committee. Is that helpful?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I was just wondering. That's what I thought, because I know you give those, give the reports during the meeting. So I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Thank you for the question, Kim.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I'd probably just add, if you don't mind, Felicia,
Please.
Kim, we generally do have some kind of educational program in the spring that I
Mhm.
think, so in addition to what I call the running of WPN, there are also opportunities. And I think the philanthropy committee really has aspirations going into this coming year and are looking for input about how we can expose our donors more to the campus, to our students, both virtually and in person. So I think you'll see us, in many ways, even though we're 12 years old, we're still very young in how to do what we're doing as volunteers. And I think, for example, the one we're doing with Women's History Month is really a brand new thing for us. It's going to give us a lot of visibility. It's going to give our donors an opportunity to attend some events. So I think there's the running of WPN events, and then there's the engagement events where you don't have to come to any of it if you don't want. But it also does, as Kathy says, it gives you both an opportunity to get to know Georgia State better, pieces of it that you may not have run across before. And frankly, it also has given us as friends a chance to get to know each other better as we're engaging with, parts of the university that we've never seen before. So I don't know, I just add that as well. It's sort of a discretionary thing, but it's a bit addictive. I'll be honest, it's, there are like, Paul Alberto and the Child Development Center, or the Anne would relate to the library and the special collection there with the women. That's where we really want to see our donors having a chance to get exposed to the work, and where we think it would really enrich your life and all of ours if we could, be involved in more of that. I happen to know Kim from your initial time on the board. When I was on the board, you are a person who comes to a lot of things at Georgia State and knows a lot about the university. But we do think that donors would be even more motivated if they had a chance to see some of those insights of the students and the activities, et cetera. So we're going to try to do more of that in the coming years, I believe.
Mhm.
Donna, that was well stated. And also behind the scenes, Kim, are these rich partnerships. We have rich partnerships, and Donna's named some of them. We also have rich partnerships with women's athletics, and Felicia Tucker is here to kind of be that representative. We have a rich partnership with women's studies. And we're just real pleased with that. They keep us informed, we keep them informed of special projects. And of course, well known is Women Lead. That is well known and well
Mhm,
established and long standing.
mhm,
So thank you for that. Thank you for that question.
And Kim, what we're trying to do this year with our new structure is separate the governance work, which some of us
mhm,
find fascinating and scintillating, but not everybody, from the more enjoyable hands-on work, which is the grant making, finding programs to fund across the university, or the educational programming, which is planning a seminar or a panel or an activity that both educates our donors but highlights a specific program at the university. So that's why in the past, we've required everybody who's on WPN, the committee, to be part of all of the governance. And we're trying to make sure that the people who just want to be part of the work, but not
mhm,
necessarily reading the bylaws, can participate in kind of pick and choose activities. I want to be
mhm,
I want to be part of the grant making. I want to be part of the planning the educational programming. I want to be part of the donor engagement, donor recruitment. Now I think we've devolved those activities to a wider group of people.
mhm.
By the way, you notice, Kim, the lawyer said it. I called it the running of things. She calls it governance,
Governance.
Notice she sort of helped me there a little bit to be a little more sophisticated. So I want to thank my partner for that. I thought that was well said, Kathy. You're right. It's a question to do. A lot of people like to run things, like to be part of
Yeah.
governance. And then others really say, that is so boring. I really want to go meet some students, or, I want to go to a ball game or whatever. So I think we're trying to find what people's sweet spot is and really hit it.
Mhm,
And we actually have, we will formalize it in the form of an advisory council, which will meet, periodically, and all of that is still in in formation, but beginning in July, and a place for donors to come together and participate, potentially work on committees, um, you know, help us engage other women in this work. So anyway, we would look forward to, participation in what we're calling our WPN Advisory Council.
Dr. Mayfield, do you mind if I say something really quickly?
So I was getting ready to say before we wrap this up, I wanted to hear from athletics and yield to you, Felicia.
Thank you so much. Well, first, my name is Felicia Tucker, and I want to thank Dr. Mayfield for inviting me to this meeting. It's so awesome. I'm very humble and also very nervous at the same time. But what I wanted to mention, I do work in athletics development, but prior to that time, I was working with women's basketball as their director of operations. And so women in sports is very, very important to me. And our head coach, Gene Hill, is something that he's championed as well. And so this will be our third year doing our Women Empower, Women Excel game. And what it is, we honor women in the Georgia State community and also women in the Atlanta community who are leaders and who have made significant impact in their specific spheres of influence. And so this year we have our provost, Nicole Parsons Pollard. We have Doretta Rhodes Cole, who is the EVP for the Atlanta Braves. We also have Angel Mason, who is the athletic director at Berry College. And then we have Elena Percival, who is the co-founder of Women Who Code, who is a graduate of Women Lead. And so we'll be honoring them on Saturday, February 3rd. We would love for you all to come and join us for that game. The game starts at 1 o'clock. At noon, we'll have a reception where you'll be able to meet our women's basketball team. And so you get to see them in action off the court and on the court. So we hope to see you there.
Thank you. I sent in my RSVP. I'm pretty excited about it. It was nice last year. And so I'm happy to be there again. All right. Any last comments before we?
I'd like to my impression, I'm fairly new to WPN, but I think sometimes when you think about a university, it's like it's too big. How do you access it? How do you touch it? How do you find out more about the university? And WPN is a door open for people who, you know, intellectually support Georgia State, but don't know how to activate it. So the people we've talked to say, here's a way for you to be involved with like some really cool women who get stuff done. And you get to learn about Georgia State and make an impact on the lives of the students and the vision of the university. And it's just I see it as just a big old wide open door to say, come on in, join us. We have fun. We do good work. You know, so anybody you know who you think might be interested, send them invite them, send them our way. We'll reach out. It's a very invitational and inclusive group. And they're fun and smart gals. That's the best part.
Thank you, Anne, for that closing comment. I think that was excellent. And we'll consider that our thank you for coming. And we will see you at more of our WPN functions.
Take care, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Stay
Great.
warm.